Good evening to all, and thanks. Again a week full of deceptions and betrayal, and the time seems to be shorter and shorter for reaction. But we are still able to stop the evil. Just a moment to show you the baby, and after we will discuss about it. Look again when Antonia Alexandrina pursued and attacked and physically and paranormally by all the evil occult group and their slaves. Many cunning ones pretending they want to protect her. Dirty cunning. And I tell you again, protect your children, for your children don't allow to be neither betray nor deceive. Just a moment. We have to watch and react firmly against the betrayal, against the deceptions the occult evil group made in their paranoid think and intention to rule and control totally the world. China and Russia to work together, allied against Japan to destroy it after provoked many betrayal acts and in other countries controlled by them, but to be used and plundered the worst, and in other cases they had in their pathetic intention by the evil spirits to whom they worship, hidden or not, because the blasphemers are allied, hidden with the Pharisee in the occult evil group, passing the baton one another to deceive the people when it is necessary, provoked in other countries state cups. But what matters the most is the fact that they want to divide and to make destroy annexed Japan, divided by both Russia and China, and led by the occult evil group as parts of the two countries ruled under total control after throwing it in the global war they won pathetic by the disciples of the Ram from China and Russia ruled, and by those said in Revelation 2:9, they say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Finish the quote. They want pathetic the global war and Japan drowned and destroyed like that, by starting it provoked and after annexed by them. By the two countries as insolvable for future war damages and as though occupied in war. And they don't care if they destroy mankind through the global war so much wanted pathetic by them, because they think pathetic that the evil spirits to whom sacrifice babies and worship will give them power and will protect them. We still can stop the evil, but we need to fight against betrayal, against deception, for light and freedom and peace and faith. And to not answer as they provoke, cunning or not. Never forget what is written on the cenotaph of Hiroshima. Now, after the United States nuclear discharge arrived already near Japan, asked on purpose by South Korean mob of the evil occult group and practically by all the occult group who are in deal for that. Let all the souls rest here in peace, for we shall not repeat the evil. Finish the quote. So, few quotes and proverbs to suggest the following headings. I'll focus your attention today and after the issues. Excuse, I have learned to hate country traitors, and there is no disease to condemn more than betrayal. My comment. A very contagious disease of very bad character spread, and through the traitorous politics of the last prime ministers, humanoid robots or not, means including those killed by the occult who use them for introducing new political deceiving aliens, ways and persons on purpose to spread the betrayal, also in Japan, and to corrupt many people among the officials, and not only. Such disease, the betrayal, as symptoms of dirty character, mainly that the sick ones think they will live longer if they will sacrifice millions of people by selling in dirty hidden deals their future, the future of the people, the children and their wealth, and the future of the children remained still alive. And Abe and Kishida are the proof that such pathetic wish will not be fulfilled, because the occult evil group used Japanese traitors and after sacrificed them too, after selling Japan, or even while they are going to do it. Another quote, Einstein. I'm afraid of the day when technology will be more important than interpersonal relationship. There will be a generation of idiots in the world. Finish the quote. Mahatma Gandhi. It has always been a mystery to me how men can feel themselves honored by the humiliation of their fellow beings. And I cannot conceive of a greater loss than the loss of one's self-respect. Finish the quote. And also, Gandhi, even the most despotic government cannot stand except for the consent of the governed. Immediately, the subject ceases to fear the despotic force, that his power is gone. Finish the quote. Japanese proverb, fall 6 times, stand up 7. Nikolai Yorga. The snake is odious not because it bites, but because it hides the bite. Saint John Chrysostom, he who makes war with the devil keeps peace with God. Publius Syrus, when he pretends to be good, the bad man is at the height of his wickedness. Again, Japanese proverb, a single arrow can be broken easily, but not then in a battle. And when you do something with all your heart, you don't need help. And another, with many small movements, a big tree is felled. Now, so the issues and some background information. Firstly, a background sad information. The huge betrayal through which some officials try to make cunning Japan to be ruled again by humanoid robots and to give to the evil occult group all the possibility to undermine the national safety and all the databases of the state system by introducing through deception the artificial intelligence, AI, officially cunning in the administration of Japan and in all state system, despite the law, despite your will, despite the constitution, despite the democratic rights of the people, despite the case of huge betrayal and crimes and thefts committed through robots in Japan by the evil occult group in the past, and despite even the warning given by FBI about making easier the hackers' activity through artificial intelligence through such systems. But in a word, such a thing means that anything, elections, constitution, your work, my work, all was in vain because traitor wanted, working for the evil occult group, wanted you, the people of Japan, and even Japan, planned by them to disappear, ruled under dictatorship again of robots, dictatorship of robots, worse than in North Korea, which at least had appearance than of constitution, and want to be thrown in war through such robots and destroyed, to start with that country targeted to be annexed, the global war and destroyed both. You just were near to be ruled by a new dictatorship of robots, and all work, elections, conference, constitution to be in vain, and the country again enslaved and quickly thrown in war and annexed because of such betrayal. The second issue, a new deception with humanoid robots tried by China against Japan with the help of cunning traitors from Japan, corrupted local traitors and mob come from abroad on the purpose not to live peaceful in Japan, but to create chaos, as even Kishida before to be killed recognized that his politics had that purpose, and he did it commanded by the evil occult group, which also commanded him to refuse to cooperate with me, but he wanted to cooperate with me before to be killed when he was arrested by the Chinese, who used him, thinking I can somehow save him, but he fell in his own trap, in the trap of his friends' trolls, who blocked me after, and who blocked and his message until they killed him, and I was able to know about that after. So his evil, traitorous activity and refusal to cooperation, as in the case of Abe, turn against themselves, but also drove Japan near to total destruction. So, while the traitorous Japanese infiltrated among the officials struggled to set up the deal and spread public that Japan will be ruled officially by robots and will introduce AI in the Japanese administration and diet, by AI, allowing AI, say them, despite all, to be used and introduced in all the state system by mocking your democratic rights and your freedom and all our work to stop that misery. China pulled again all the officials there in Japan, and they managed to appoint again a new humanoid robot commanded by China, this time as a secretary of the throne. The previous robots were as general samurai, and it was a new humanoid robot appointed as a secretary of the throne. I asked and repeated many times, and I said again and again, every time is candidate and appointed an official in Japan, I recommended to be before checked, not to be cheaped, not to be humanoid robots. And all of those involved mocked me again. And it was appointed a Chinese robot, humanoid robot based on AI they want to introduce officially as secretary of the throne. I am not atheist. He was not checked. How I occurred? Let's give glory to God, who gave us light, and to watch and pray for light to stop the traitorous complicity. And free, third issue, the role of meteorological and biological weapons of manipulation through deepfakes, diversion, and in plundering the countries and creating step by step the global war because about humanoid robots and impersonators and purchased through deception and fake aliens against nature, composed which such one instead did leaders by stealing their identity and usurping official qualities. Through that, the juridical abilities of that leader being zero, I spoke in other conference, and the dirty role of using the technology 5G in undermining by the occultable group pawns of China the national safety and the communication and state databases and state secrets, including military in many countries, even allow true betrayal in some countries led by the evil local group, including through humanoid robots or impersonators commanded by them. The influence of 5G system means used in evil purpose for undermining the national safety of the countries, instead to be used the technological researches and technological new means for development of the countries or for making easier the life of people in need from countries affected by them. The situation created by the evil group were the new technological means as the humanoid robots, also the 5G technology. Such new technologies are used by the evil group instead to help the people and for good of mankind and for countries' development. Such technological means are used by the evil group with malice, with bad purpose, with bad intentions, either to fool or to manipulate or to take control over a country or other, or to take, in the case of robots, decisions, vague, but with a fact, in the interest of the evil group and against mankind, against the country, against the global peace, by fooling the people, or in the situation of 5G, using that technology for destroying databases, for trolling, for attacking through radiations and paranormally through passes. The first who warned me about the power of 5G used for that was Emperor Akihito himself, but then were only isolated cases. Now is their pathetic purpose to make in general that and to destroy entire countries, not only a person or other. And 4, the necessity to not allow anymore the religious manipulation, the necessity to have his own faith and to increase it, asking God for light and to not accept under any case the dirty political and religious manipulation desired by the occult evil group about the symbiosis between religion and church and the state, wanted pathetic by them for manipulation and keeping like that under control the people obedient, including in dirty purposes through faith. There's a new trend of the evil occult group where the blasphemers cannot manipulate, as example when the occult group make provokers, pride parades of ones who are free even to blaspheme but not to oblige others to be like them. They come all-inclusive, quickly with their hidden friends in appearance against them, the Pharisee who threw quickly a contra-manifestation of themselves against themselves, being all of them born of the same evil occult group, and indeed for accusing, for creating chaos and tensions, they being hidden indeed for that appearance of fight, of arc, but being indeed exactly as the leader of Ukraine was in deal with the leader of Russia to create such war. I explained it much about that in previous conference and about all the hidden purpose for that. I won't repeat now. All I add and I repeat is that all the countries ruled by the evil occult group who entertain, encourage, help somehow or support that calculated war of Ukraine are accomplices and responsible for all the innocent life and for all the plundering of the two countries, but also for plundering of all the countries who support the war, in fact, supporting like that the own accounts of the members of the evil local group mob, plundering countries with that pretext after the time before, when they plundered through deepfakes and scandals as the migrants, money for migrants, as global warming, as the contagious disease. In fact, it was a biological weapon created in laboratory exactly for that purpose. I spoke about it in a previous conference, and after the stimulating the taking refuge of people from different countries, and even before taking refuge of Ukrainians, and I explaining in detail, they cultivate that exactly for plundering the wealth of refugees and for create house at border to be able to enter anyone, anytime, anywhere, and with anything with him, including terrorists, spy, general wanted, mob. Anyway, I hope the new good faith official of Japan understood exactly that and don't allow anymore what once as Kishida allowed and after recognized himself why he allowed and who commanded him to betray like that, and also that he did betrayal, fulfilling their wish. So let's start. Huge dirty traitors, slave of the evil local group, tried to oblige Japan cunning through deceptions and spread public to believe again Japan by robots and to allow China, and not only, practically to allow all the evil group to undermine, to control, to enslave Japan and to break all the databases of Japanese state and administration as a first step in annexing Japan by trying and spreading through mass media corrupted by them that Japan start through deals concerning AI to be led by something like that. Practically not only to destroy the databases, but to be led through that and through the robots by China, by Russia, by all, and also to allow them to enter in any state secret database of Japan, because China and Russia want that as a first step for annexion of Japan, divided as they wish by them. I wonder, there are a lot of wise and cultured and good faith and honest Japanese people to work in the state administration, to work for Japan, and to work in the state system. Why to lead China and Russia, Japan, again through robots, when you just decided to be free, when you just decided to have constitution again, when you just decided to bring up your children in peace. Carlo Alberto Dalla Chiesa said, if there is a power, that power is of the state, of its institution and its law. We can no longer delegate that power to moneymaker, to bullies, to dishonest people. Finish the quote. And the traitors wanted not only that, what the General Dalla Chiesa quoted before said not to do, But they wanted to delegate the leadership of Japan, self-destroying, to robots commanded by China, by Russia, by the enemies of Japan, by the evil local group, by any mob against the country and having on purpose to destroy it. Please be vigilant. Watch, check hidden, dirty, cunning deeds, and analyze and also pray the believers and all people may ask God for light, and if they ask sincere with good intention, even the atheist will receive light, as Saint Sylvan said. Notice and that in act, the ones who didn't found out yet that even FBI warned that the AI means including ChatGPT, chatbot, and others like that, allow the hackers to produce and to use easier malware to destroy any digital database easier, and also abuse to make any deepfake and any fake in the state system and undermine the defense, the safety, the country. And remember, I showed you in a previous conference, recently people using means as chatbot and ChatGPT, helped by such AI means, were manipulated in such situation and driven through them to commit suicide by discussing with robots about scandals, as example, manipulated through the global warning to commit suicide, or by other scandals created by the same occult group who created, and those technological means used by them in very bad purpose to manipulate, to destroy the mankind instead to help them, because they are created and used in that purpose by the same occult group who means as chatbot and ChatGPT, made people to suicide and manipulate, and before made the same things through IT games as the Blue Whale or many other games provoking the suicide through manipulation, especially against the young or weak people. So you, the people of Japan, if you want to keep your nation and traditions healthy, I am disgusted by nationalists. One is to be nationalist and others to love the country. They are contrary. You know, I myself, I'm not born in Japan, but I love Japan. I am Japanese citizen and I love it. And I was blessed, only I in the world, by both Emperor Akihito and Michiko, trying to stop my former traitor husband, your former emperor, and what I do now is a question of conscience. I do the last wish of Empress Michiko, whose last words were about me and who wanted Japan on safe hands, and that is why I inform you now to fight for being Japan really on safe hands, not on robots' hands or on other countries' hands. A Japanese proverb says, wherever you live, you come to love it. And Paolo Borsellino said, it doesn't matter where you were born if you believe in the same thing and fight for the same ideas. Finish the quote. And Empress Michiko loved Japan and asked me to help her to defend it like that. And all of you, I think, know her last words. And although my last conversation with her before to be killed, cruel and cunning by my former traitor husband, your former emperor. But the so-called nationalists are not patriots as they claim. One is to be nationalist and other is to be patriot. The nationalists use such slogans and mass media to manipulate through that, working hidden for other countries, and exactly that met Abe and other like him, and exactly like that the sects, as example that of Tanaka and many others manipulating for the evil occult group. Many of them created in South Korea or Japan with relation in the United States or other countries to manipulate, many of them being either created or led by relatives of traitor politicians, as I said, or mobs for other countries, including involved in penal scandals, real, not staged. Some of them are revealed, some of them not. But remember what Lincoln said. You can fool some of the people, all of the people some of the time, or some of the people all of the time, but you cannot fool all of the people all of the time. So the occult group, in their pathetic wish to annex and assert Japan, use helped by dirty traitors working for them, who sell your future and the country on a handful of money or some privileged or promised power to end up as Abe or Kishida. But if they are not caught before, they are killed by the ones who commanded them to betray. But they are killed only after doing the evil against the country. And you know the Japanese wisdom said, the spilled water does not return to the bowl. The fall blossom do not return to the branch. A broken mirror does not again reflect. So act, beware, and react until it won't be too late. The new Secretary General of the Throne said to me about the traitorous fake deal made by trampling on all your will, on all your democratic and constitutional right, and even on all the constitution and all the law which protect your rights, on all your work shown at referendum, and also trampling as traitor for destroying in order to annex Japan to national politics of Japan, to national strategy of Japan, and to national defense of Japan, for throwing the country to be commanded by other country and to undermine the national and the safety and defense. He told me that all the deal was declared null and void and totally destroyed. But don't forget, the occult group are very cunning and you also traitor with not at all can be founded all in a moment. So I recommend to all the good faith officials, new elected or new appointed, to keep the attention on it and to react at firstly hidden attempt to start something like that and to punish the traitors. And I recommend also to you, the people of Japan, for being free and alive, for bringing up your children in a free Japan as a free, democratic and safe country, not if remained alive slave in China or Russia or in other enemy of Japan countries. I repeat, if remained alive, so for being or work together useful, the conference, the election, and your wish, and the Constitution brought again to you not in vain, to be vigilant and to react. I react too, not to be in vain, neither my work nor the last wish of Empress Michiko, and also not to that of my late husband, the military, pursue like a dog and hijacked in Russia by the gang of Naruhito's godfather Putin, allied with the Chinese who considered Naruhito good, exactly them, our little dog, who pursued that gang with army, my late husband, as high officer, to kidnap him, to insert again microchips, then to trying to use forcibly him as a boat in a fake G7 to destroy Japan. I hope he didn't die while he was pursued in vain, because only through his death you was able to find out the truth, and I was allowed after that to say you the truth, and you are free now and still able to react. When I was the wife of your former traitor emperor, no one allowed me to speak to you, and all the press was controlled by Naruhito, and even emperors Akihito and Michiko were fooled. Emperor Akihito being in treatment and Empress Michiko with him, I was made to register and no one broadcasted, but they deceived even them, saying yes, and they believed. But when Naruhito and Hitaki wanted me to betray, they even tried to force me to speak to people, to speak betrayal, and to force you, to lie you, including kidnapping my daughter and tormenting her. Then, for betrayal, if I wanted, was I able to speak. I was able, if I accepted, to lie, not to speak the truth. They wanted even to force me to lie you. And my reaction was, as you know, I annulled the marriage and remarried with the military destroyed by them. So my late husband is a proof, a huge proof, how a man could be transformed by inserting microchips, intelligent blood, and making to him paranormal, and through 5G means used in bad purpose who control proceedings, how a man can become exactly as a robot. He was released about that, stopping the proceedings and taking out the chips, the intelligent blood, But before to die, they tried again by hijacking and pursuing him for kidnapping and insulting to him again by the evil local group in order to use him to destroy Japan. After the supreme revolt put by the evil local group instead to dead Kim Jong-un, who is dead for a long, but they fool the people there saying he is alive, and the supreme revolt changed forcibly his name, his former name, being, as I said, Kim Jong-un. Not to be confused, no way, with the dirty rag Yong, who killed some of my family, who killed the priest Noch, a priest who saved my life, and was killed by him in Romania since 10 years, and his relative manipulate with his account saying he is alive, the priest from South Korea working for the occult. The sub of the evil local group working for Russia, Yong, who staged his own death in 2016 to do crimes abroad, died for real 2 months after my husband died. A month as sometimes, almost a month. And he was involved with his friend Naruhito in all the destruction of my late husband who died before him. And like that, a man can be used by us robots, including by acting against himself, commanded by the occult evil group, using the technology in dirty purpose, and to not struggle, then to insert, in order to not struggle them, the evil local group, to insert to human beings intelligent blood or chips, many like that, wanting to be by them to be used in official function, because as in the case of my husband, the chips and the intelligent blood can be taken out. The occult evil group tried and prepared to deceive you by using directly humanoid robots by the help of Japanese traitors, to allow again humanoid robots and AI in administration, instead to use honest worker Japanese citizens loving their country, not trolls, not hackers, to be sure, they want to be sure, the evil local group, that they command Japan like that through such robots and trolls. Japan had not the ones elected by you to command them through robots, and not some Japanese officials who love their country and fight for keeping it free, in peace, in democracy and in light, not enlightened, but through Russia and China's command, or of the whole evil occult group in deal with them, including the ones mentioned in Revelation 2:9 Bible, who want to implement and are owners of that deals with AI against Japan. I make a public appeal for the good faith officials to check well and to stop and punish any attempt of introducing the AI in the Japanese state system who has enough potential workers with honor, with honesty for the country. and who don't want neither Japan commanded by other countries nor commanded through robots to be commanded through robots or trolled by other countries, and not to allow other states and the evil local group to make easier the destroying of state secrets and databases, including of national safety or nuclear of Japan. And to you, the people of Japan, who love the country, please be vigilant. You still have many cunning traitors infiltrated among you, who sell you cunning on almost nothing. They think they will live better as rags of China, of Russia, as members of the evil local group, as disciples of the Ram. Big beware, don't allow to be fooled by cunning, manipulated. Buddha said that an insincere and evil friend is worse than a wild beast, because a wild beast can wound your body, but an evil friend can wound your mind. And check, be vigilant, watch and pray for light. As I said, even the atheists may pray for light, and if they are sincere, they will see for sure the result. And if you will occur some attempts to introduce even cunning in the official state system of Japan, the AI and the systems of humanoid robots or chatbot or ChatGPT and others like that, as you still have the democratic rights given through the Constitution, you just voted it again, including the right to reject the official who betray or who don't make the work for which they are elected or appointed by the people. So as long as you still have those democratic rights and that right to reject the traitor or mob officials, please use that right. Organize yourself and use that right to reject and dismiss if you find out if such officials, and indeed won't be too late. As Mahatma Gandhi said, how was one to treat alike it insulting, insolent and corrupt officials, co-worker of yesterday meaningless opposition, and men who had always been good to one? Finish the quote. So, be vigilant, and if they try to introduce again robots through which to be Japan commanded by China, Russia, and all the OPEC group or other AI means in the state system for allowing them to destroy and to command Japan through not only robots but through trolls, through malware, through undermining databases, state secrets, or through blocking the communication. Organize yourself, inform the good faith official you know, and stop and reject the traitors. You are still free until it won't be too late, and you will not be again. But as Osho said, freedom does not mean laziness and carelessness. Freedom means responsibility. If you don't take responsibility, someone else will do it for you. That's how you become a slave. Osho warned for along that situation. Quote, Delgado's experiments, said him, could prove dangerous to humanity. It can be used by politicians. Even when a child is born in a hospital, a small electrode can be inserted into his skull near the center of intelligence, and a centralized control system will ensure that no one's become revolutionary, no one's become rebellious. Finish the quote. And not only that, but to act only according to their interests as they slave. That's their wish. Exactly that's what the evangelical group want to do to all the ones remained alive, if remained, after a global war or a so-called new global order so pathetic wanted by them, included by some religious mob invoking the faith for that. Saint Grigore the theologian said, "Nothing is more pathetic than talking about God standing apart from God." And also he said, "Through silence we betray God. So please watch and react until it won't be too late." Now the second issue is exactly related to the first. This issue and that sad background information and sad breaking news ties in exactly with what I said before about the fact that the pathetics want now to turn the pain through AI, deepfakes and deception back to the dictatorship of the boobs, to be commanded by the evangelical group through robots. After the betrayal of former Secretary of the Throne was revealed and stopped, there was necessary to be appointed a new one, and exactly mocking me and fooling Japan and you the people, and humanoid robots working for China and commanded by China was, with the help of Japanese traitors, appointed as Secretary of the Throne, who did that and who mocked me, who I asked again and again every time when an official is appointed, to be checked not to be an humanoid robot and not to have, even as human being, microchips inserted or intelligent blood. But the traitors mocked me and appointed as they willingly as a robot, saying he is good. I know countries led by the evangelical group were even at the mayor's office level, there exists some are serving to the evangelical group so much, then in that their work, the workers are even obliged to be as robots, to accept willingly to be inserted to them microchips. And some people without dignity accept even that for money on their own will. Benjamin Franklin said, "Those who will give up the essential freedom to acquire a piece of security at any moment deserve neither freedom nor security, but their own choice. And when they will find out that they will be used and end up as Kishida, it will be too late for them. Their business, but that it happened in countries ruled by the evangelical group, and I still believe that Japan is still free through your recently work, and also according to the last wish of Empress Michiko." So the fact that again he was near to be led as official of the throne by a robot commanded by China is again a proof to notice that the AI must in no case, cunning or not, hidden or not, to be accepted neither in the state administration nor in the diet, in nothing related to the state system and to the state's secrets and databases, or in the economic, strategic and defense, including nuclear system, in nothing related to the country's public interest and national defense and safety or national politics or administration. If there are necessity of workers, I think there exist many wise Japanese loving the country who accept to do that, to work in the state system, including working with computers without to be robots, hackers, or trolls. Indeed, when that robot's new appointed informed me about that, it entered and in my phone as troll, although the net had some applications were stopped on purpose as checked by me and tried to steal, I don't know what he tried to steal, I don't know what secrets can in their paranoia imagine I keep in my phone, because as example the conference I wrote exactly like that on the paper with a pencil, and the important documents, I am not Baka or Babo or Palpan in Korean or Baiki in Chinese. Anyway, I'm not fool to keep important data in the phone. I don't know what they can find there. So they give you, by appointing rotators and humanoid robots commanded by China and based on AI as Secretary of the Throne, and before appointed as General Samurai. If you remember, another humanoid robots were commanded by China and based on AI as General Samurai, exactly through those two traitorous appointments. The evil group gave you a solid argument to never allow the AI in the state system you just voted to be free, to be democratic, to never allow even an attempt to introduce something like that, and to punish firmly the betrayal and the deceptions being even attempted related to such dangerous domain even before to be started, and to be very vigilant in that domain, to list it, what I recommended many times, and if I was not listening, look the consequence. They were appointed to two robots. I recommended that the official to be checked before to be appointed as candidates to election, or when they are appointed, not to be humanoid robots, not to have microchips instead, or intelligent blood, and after appointing or electing to be checked periodically in order not to be killed by traitors and replaced with humanoid robots based on AI, because they are so pathetic and want so pathetic through betrayal to introduce it in Japan, and or even if not killed, to be chipped an official or other and insert with intelligent blood, because allied robots, as my late husband was one day when they did that to him. So you had again who appointed by China who traitor 2 humanoid robots, firstly as general samurai, and that week a new humanoid robots as the former appointed secretary of the throne, appointed through traitors, and like that you have solid reasons to reject firmly any involving attempt of the AI in the state system of Japan. You was led and plundered enough under dictatorship by deceiving humanoid robots, and after you vote to be free through referendum, China and the occult group held by Japanese traitors tried to impose you again dictatorship and humanoid robots based on AI and commanded by China and by the whole evil occult group, helping it in destroying Japan through those humanoid robots commanded by the enemies of Japan, the so-called general samurai robots and the so-called secretary of the throne humanoid robots. So recently you had another solid reason to not allow firmly and to reject firmly any attempts to introduce AI in the state system of Japan. For the believers, including for the good faith Jews, not for the ones mentioned in Revelation 2:9, who say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan, finish the quote, who are owners with the cool occult of that AI industry. So only for the real and good faith Jews and for all believers, I will quote David, the symbol of Jews, whom they say, the ones who say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan, defy, but try to fool and use the real good faith Jews. So to quote David, Psalm 9:16-17, the Lord is known by the judgment which he executes. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Hagan Sila. Finish the quote. The wicked, another quote, shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget God. Finish the quote. So, your enemies, helped by the Japanese traitors wanting to destroy Japan through 2 robots appointed, despite my warnings to be checked before, the first general samurai and now the former secretary of the throne, like that, the enemies of Japan and the traitors show you the way how to reject firmly any attempt to introduce AI in the state system of Japan, and how to fight firmly to punish the betrayal. A disease becomes so contagious in Japan through the former traitors' politics, and also how to use your rights if you occur any betrayal by organizing yourself to use your democratic rights as citizens you still have through the Constitution you just voted again, to be a free and democratic country, to reject the traitors official or to reject the officials who don't make the noble work in the interest of Japan for which they were elected or appointed. 3. The third issue is also related to the first two by using through the evil deceivers actions of the evil occult group in bad purpose of the results of technology and of the recent developments in bad purpose of the science, instead to use the researches for helping the countries, for helping the mankind, and for helping disinterest the people being for really needs and not for crimes, thefts, deceptions, and war. I won't repeat neither what I detailed in other conferences about the meteorological weapons, about systems Surah and HARP, used by many countries ruled by the evil occult group, and I won't repeat nor what I said about the biological weapons as the disease spread in the last years by the occult group who made it and spread it from the laboratory of China, killing including many Chinese simple innocent people or awkwards, and also a huge number of human beings in all the world for their corruptions and for their own interests of the evil occult group. I explained it, I won't repeat. Some of them said they are communist. I quote in the past in other conferences exactly Marx and Mao Zedong and also Lenin to show you that the occult evil group are not communists, defying all trade mentors of communists, as the occult Jews defy David and Moses and say they are mosaics. They are disciples of the Ram. They are occult mobsters without border, as Emperor Akihito himself blackmailed by them with the insemination deceiving for him, name it them. So they are mob workers with evil spirits, hiding cowards behind dead officials or fake aliens who promotes an impersonator to plunder the country, to plunder the public wealth and the people to do crimes and war. And as heroes of today, they sacrifice babies to evil spirits, including by asking help to traitors or corrupt officials who want to kidnap babies with legal appearance, claiming they want to protect the babies, they want to help the babies, and stealing them from families by delivering them for sacrifice to evil spirits, and after deleting their registering from the digital evidence, as they tried and still try, and with Antonia Alexandrina firstly declared fake death at the hospital, after by official corrupted by Naruhito tried to refuse to register her birth, after trying by corruption to delete her from the digital evidence, and while that abuse, mobs and sorcerers who helped them, attacking her physically or paranormal. So you have another reason to understand, and you already know that they provoked and previous mass myths with global warming were in countries of Europe, not in North Pole, but in southeast of the continent, were people in that time of so-called global warming who died of cold in full scandal spread with global warming, who was creating by them again for plundering countries and for creating chaos, and I explain it. And they used meteorological weapons for create then emotions for fooling you. And now they use again meteorological and biological weapons, but this time to destroy the agriculture and the economy of various countries and to diminish the population, as I detailed in other conference. So marvel not, you already know. And there is no more secret that the system as Sarah and Harp and other meteorological weapons like that affect not only the weather, and we use to understand their deceptions, but they not affect only the weather, but they produce earthquakes are produced too through military depth secret exercises with bombs. There is no more secret that in Japan, at Fukushima, the earthquake was provoked like that, exactly by the evil group in their pathetic plan to destroy step-by-step Japan, and that at Fukushima are involved traitors not only from Japan, but members of the occult evil group from many nations, and not only from the claimed considered in-face enemies of Japan, but also dirty pawns of the evil group who are from countries claimed by themselves friends of Japan, including using traitors, Japanese traitors, supported and helped to betray as ambassadors or consul of Japan in such countries. Big beware. Stop the betrayal anywhere to the Japanese. Stop the betrayal disease, as Aeschylus named it. Stop it at the first symptoms until it won't be too late. Because a huge disease which is not stopped in time drive to exitus. So, for not disappear Japan from the map under the hands of dirty traitors, doesn't matter that after use him they will be killed by the ones who made it to betray, but evil will be done. Stop the betrayal in time. And in the same manner which ties in what I said, providing details at the previous issue, the technology used instead to help using dirty purpose to destroy countries, peoples, or even the mankind. The recent developments of researches in science and technologies used for destruction means including the 5G technology. The occult evil group, especially the pawns of China's leadership, which control that, use the 5G for stealing, for trolling, for blocking communication, for stealing data, and exactly as though for thought control proceeding, I saw directly cases like that, and also for radiations and for undermining as hackers the databases and the national safety of a country in the interest of the evil local group, and especially in the interest of China, who work many with 5G, who want to enslave or plunder according to the situation of each targeted country like that. And there are countries, including in Europe, in which through betrayal and deceptions, the leadership working totally for the evil local group, many of them usurp of official qualities as impersonator or humanoid robots, instead dead ones, allied with devilish vassals and religious mob in the same evil local group, gave entire country to be controlled by China's spawn of the evil local group by using the 5G technology, hidden or obvious, against those countries and in the purpose to undermine their national safety, if any remained in some countries like that. But Japan just had the proof with the deepfake and the recent 2 humanoid robots appointed through deception as General Samurai or Secretary of the Throne, and also Japan has in face the case of my late military husband destroyed by the evil local group exactly through such thought control proceedings, microchips, intelligent blood passes, and paranormal means. And also, they have the proof how they change names like that or make any deep fake in databases trolling through that new technology. So the ones of you who like the IT, big beware, and I recommend the officials in charge never allow by company as sub or owned by countries ruled totally by the enemies of Japan and the occult group as the pawns of the occult group from China to give license for 5G in Japan, a state system to control and to undermine step by step the national safety of Japan. The first time, Emperor Akihito warned me that the thought control proceeding can be made by using the technology 5G in bad purpose, and I saw then some cases, but now the evil local group want to use it on a large scale to destroy entire countries by using that to manipulate and to fool entire people like that, not only as awkward, some of them or other, or some targeted to be destroyed or stolen or used by brainwashing like that. So be beware, and to the one who like 5G to check well the license, the source, and their gadgets, and be beware, and to the officials in charge not to allow involving against Japan through deceivers companies or deceive directly by pawns of the evil local group of the enemy of Japan, who want Japan disappeared on the map by throwing it in war, annexed and destroyed. And although don't answer at their cunning provokes, watch not to be undermined through traitors and like that through 5G, the self-defense software, especially the nuclear and the software of the anti-rocket shields and of other self-defense means software, the anti-rocket shield must be kept in that period always on, always active, because they are extremely cunning, pathetic, and obsessed to destroy Japan, and also through it to destroy the global peace, and they are able, although warned, in any moment to drop bombs against Japan as provoked. Don't answer, but keep the anti-rocket shield on. They are public, warned by me as official many times. If they drop, the bombs sent by them will be rejected and they will pay the damages. But don't answer as they provoke. Check and secure the software of self-defense means and the law of nuclear centrals, and always keep active the anti-rocket shield and secured, including against attack through 5G. The countries who allow through betrayal leadership of the evil local group controlling some companies to act in their countries using not controlled means, endangering through that even the life of their people, exposing the people and the nuclear central software to be undermined. Japan has learned the lesson of Fukushima, and many Japanese know that there are involved mobsters and traitors. I repeat, not only Japanese and from enemy countries, but it is well known it were involved and traitor mobsters of the Oku group coming from countries claimed themselves friends of Japan. Yes, friends of Japanese traitors, and in which there are neighborhoods or villages full of Japanese traitors. Big beware, act against such Japanese traitors and be very careful. They are extremely cunning, the pawns of the evil local group. Abraham Lincoln said, "Never encourage deceptions and falsehood, especially if you have a bad memory, which is the biggest enemy you can have." And he said also, "Let the people know the truth and the country will be saved." And as Mahatma Gandhi said, "Truth should be the very breath of our life." And I add, the occultive group brought to lie and deception, the strong delusion warned by Saint Paul in the Bible, 2 Thessalonians 2:11. Try to deceive you, helped by thought control proceedings and the evil spirits served by the occult group through its leadership. Not the country is the problem, but its leadership. And also in its mobsters, and also with the huge help of a devilish vassal from the synagogue of Satan, I remembered the old text of Revelation 2:9. Those who say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. And it's a quote. Or I said, those who fool the Jews, saying they are like them, but defy David the king and prophet, symbol of Jews, defy Moses in the same manner, and worship to evil spirits, all that is secret, fooling and using many real Jews and many peoples from all the nations. So they made again to be appointed in Japan after the traitor before, a reboot, a humanoid robot commanded by China, a secretary of the throne commanded by the evil local group working for China. I'm not atheist, but I asked God for light. God knows my soul, and glory to Him I occurred, and it was confirmed. What I said. Do you realize that the traitors before wanted you, the people of Japan, again led by robots and being a part of China and another part of Russia who commanded that? And the robots discovered with the help of light of God that week, appointed after the traitors who was, followed commanded by China to same directions. People of Japan, in such situation with traitors who give you to be lead of something like that, use your democratic rights you still have until it won't be too late. Ask God for light and check your officials, otherwise the traitors and the robots appointed deceiving for the evil local group, serving Russia, China and other enemies of Japan, will destroy quickly all our work, will destroy all what you voted at the elections and the referendum, and will destroy to Japan. Check your officials because a big part of them didn't cooperate, and I don't know. If you don't organize yourselves and don't protect your democratic rights, Japan as country to be defended and our work to not be in vain, in short time Japan will be annexed by China and Russia or part of them, of it, and led by robots, and all our work, including at election and at referendum, will be in vain. And you will see, as in a horror SF movie, a huge part of mankind becoming, firstly Japan, a huge cenotaph, being not who to inscribe, we shall not repeat the evil anymore, and very possible all mankind destroyed in a nuclear war, remaining only the robots commanded not by human being, but by devilish vassals and evil spirits whom the evil occult group worship. And God allows such a thing. Remember 2 Thessalonians 2:10-11. Quote, they receive not the love of truth that they might be saved, and for this cause God shall send them strong delusion that they shall believe a lie, that they all might be damned, who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. Finish the quote. For the atheist to realize the situation described by Einstein and the fact that the occult will serve to robot Japan, I recommend to them to say in your daily life, as Saint Cyril said, God, if you exist, give me light, and I will serve and follow you all my life. Finish the quote. And I will have the divine light and help too. Otherwise, if all of us won't pray sincere, the delusion, the deception, and the betrayal become huge in Japan, because it was calculated and created step by step in the last years, especially after killing Empress Michiko, and that deception started through the cunning last prime minister's service of the evil local group, even since she was alive, deceiving even her in many things. But he had many goodwill, and she loved Japan, and she fought for its defense and for your rights. That's why she was killed by the evil local group through Naruhito. And the dirty traitor wanted to kill many times even Emperor Akihito, either hitting him at the head with stones, and I threatened him because the doctor were ordered by the traitor not to do it and to declare him dead, and he wasn't dead, he was only in coma, or giving him poison, piracy, saying it is holy bread. And I advised him how to not eat the poisoned bread, pretended to be holy by the traitor Naruhito, to not eat in his fast, because the Emperor Akihito asked me how to do. He was ashamed to refuse because he feared God not to blaspheme. He was Christian too, baptized George. But God knows our souls, and knowing the character of the traitor, for sure, he didn't want to tempt him. And he took to pretended holy bread, in fact poison, and he analyzed, and the truth was shown exactly through the light of God, who didn't allow the blasphemy of the traitor to kill the Emperor Akihito, baptist named George, poisoned with fake holy bread, blaspheming the holy. I advise him exactly that God knows our souls, and he knows he doesn't want to blaspheme, but by knowing the bad intention used to have the traitor and the cunning character of the traitor, if you are not vigilant, he tempts exactly God, and is a sin to tempt God, and to ask him to show the truth, and to say to the traitor that he has vomit sensation and doesn't want to throw out if it is holy bread, and so he will eat later, and after that to analyze what's it, and God showed the truth, and the blasphemer was shown and was the traitor who gave poison, saying it is holy bread, not Emperor Akihito, who feared and doubted and feared not to be angry God on him if he analyzed or refused, thinking it could be blasphemed. So, although blackmailed by the evil occult group with the insemination and with the fact that without him to know, the material for insemination was promised to the evil, all, and in the case of Naruhito even the village vassal, the Emperor Akihito was blackmailed to resign and to give Naruhito the place, but he tried to fight with him to stop his misery, his betrayal, and that's why he made so many heart attacks when he was not attacked by him directly. In his conscience was a fight. Although blackmailed by mob, he wanted not evil for Japan and purpose, and he blessed me and loved me as his daughter too, hoping somehow I will be able to stop him. In a moment he asked me to tell him when the traitor, although he was sick, tried non-stop to kill him. Then Emperor Akihito, even sick and attacked, and also with the account trolled and blocked by the traitor, using the account of Aiko Rafaela, all three emperors, Akihito, George, Empress Michiko, Nicoletta, and Aiko Rafaela, were baptized by me. With the help of Father Tova, killed by the traitor, had the accounts told by the traitor. Montesquieu said, one thing is not right because it is law, but it must be law if it is right, on the spirit of the laws. And he said also, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And exactly that's the wish of the evil occult group, and was also the wish of Naruhito, the absolute power. So for setting up for real the democracy in Japan, so I recommend for setting up again the democracy in Japan, I recommend sincerely to the new elected and to all the officials in charge in their domain to analyze, after you have now, through working together, your will and with your work, the Constitution back, to analyze all the orders and laws in their domain, each one in their domain, given in the period of traitor Sata Higurashi and even before, since Emperor Akihito was blackmailed to resign, especially, orders and laws affecting the democratic rights of the citizens in Japan according to the constitutions. And if they found some of them being abusive laws and orders, to take account and to analyze the possibility to repeal them if they are contrary to the democracy. But the betrayal spread enormous through the traitorous and deceiving politics in the last time against Japan, especially after Emperor Akihito resigned, have to be stopped and any Japanese who love his country and wanted to exist have to fight firmly against the betrayal phenomena so much spread through the traitor politics of deceiving, although with their humanoid robots and impersonators commanded by the enemies of Japan. The betrayal have to be stopped and punished firmly, and that is exactly because the traitors act against the existence of the state and against its democracy and against its freedom, against the democratic rights of the peoples, wanting Japan to disappear and working for its enemies who want to throw Japan in war and to annex Japan, to destroy it and make it disappear Japan from the map, endangering the whole mankind in their pathetic wish to plunder and annex Japan and enslave its citizens by rejecting Japan as state, situating themselves as enemies of Japan. So the freedom, the democracy of Japan have to be firmly defended. The democratic rights of the people have to be firmly protected and also have to be used by the citizens because they have them again as free citizens in the free democratic country, and the border ought to be strictly controlled to not allow anymore any mob to come and to make disasters in Japan, and that actions have all good faith living, visiting or working in Japan who want to live and to work in the safe country or to visit a safe country without to be attacked, killed or plundered. So all the citizens, investors, businessmen and tourists in good faith are interested that the borders are safe, that the democracy is firmly kept, that the rights are firmly protected, that Japan is a serious country and no one attacked or plundered their person or their business as it happened in other countries. Japan still exists as state, and you, the people, through your will, exprimed at referendum, saved it. You saved your country in the last moment before to be too late for doing something, and keep what you saved. And now Japan is again a free democratic state as a form of government, is a constitutional monarchy, not anarchy. The anarchy profits only to the mob who want to enslave and to plunder you. That's why in that calculated anarchy, a calculated anarchy planned and recognized before to be killed exactly by the one who used Fumio Kishida to betray Japan, even by himself recognized the betrayal phenomena multiplied so much and the deception was so huge that you ended up to be led by robots under dictatorship. A Japanese proverb says, destroy a country but its mountains and rivers remain. And yes, I really think that Japan was not destroyed yet by the evil occult group, starting the moment when Emperor Akihito was blackmailed to resign and Empress Michiko was killed. He tried to stop him until he died, although himself Emperor Akihito was blackmailed with the insemination, but that's why both of them loved and blessed me, hoping somehow I will be able to stop somehow the betrayal and the devilish actions of Naruhito. And I think after Naruhito and Sota Higurashi, who almost managed to destroy totally Japan, that you, the people of Japan, who you will have the country free again, have your democratic rights through your work, and the constitution through your work back again, and you through your noble work of referendum. And elections have again a free country saved by you in the last moment, or against to be slave, against to be annexed by Russia and China, and through your work you stop at the occultable group who support them and command the humanoid robots who will lead you to deceive you anymore, deceive you again. And fortunately, I was allowed you to speak not as wife of your former traitor leader. I could speak them then only if I would accept to betray too with him. And I elected between him and my conscience to withdraw the marriage, but I was allowed to say you the truth and to warn you only in the last moment, means exactly in the week when my late husband, the military I remarried, died, pursued and hijacked in Russia by the gang of the evil occult group of Naruhito and of his godfather Putin, trying to kidnap and force him to lead a fake alliance G7 to destroy Japan. And I was allowed to say you the truth only as widow of the military, not before as wife of the traitor emperor you had. And like that you occur what I have to tell you at the last issue about the religious manipulation described exactly even by Lord Jesus Christ in the Gospel of John 8:42-47, where Lord had talked to such ones. Quote, Jesus said unto them, if God were your Father, you will love me, for I proceeded forth and come from God. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me. Why do you not understand my speech? Even because you cannot hear my word. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not the truth, because is not no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. And because I tell you the truth, ye believe me not. Which of you convinces me of sin? And if I say the truth, why do you not believe me? He that is of God have heard God's words. Ye therefore hear them not, because ye are not of God. Finish the quote. And many Pharisees today, as the ones to whom Lord said those words, act as Naruhito, who commanded and helped and acting together with and by his godfather Putin and the religious mob Kirill who baptized him. I could even himself baptized to make people obedient through faith, acted like him, who killed after hugging, gunning Empress Michiko to believe he changed in good, and taking her in an isolated place for doing that, despite my warnings, and after killed a lot of good faith Japanese in Romania, awkward for him and for the evil local group, and after he went in Russia to celebrate with them the crimes, and went also at cathedral at the feast of Holy Paraskeva to show how pious they are. The evil local group found out it's trendy and more efficient to fool people through religion, to gather many through mafia of beggars, to gather money from mafia of beggars, and many of beggars disguised, deceiving, impious or imposed for God, but led by devilish vassals, many of them being themselves devilish vassals, who order them on territory as guarding dogs, and who don't allow the really human beings in need, the really poor, to ask something because they are owners of the begging places, and if some of them try to beg to ask something in other place, hand in hand with the corrupt authorities in various countries, and also with other devilish vassals infiltrated as pious among clergymen, the full believers, forbid and attack them. Their purpose is to fool the believers. I want to quote now the priest Cleopa Ilie, who said, obedience goes to a point, that is, to the breaking of God's commandments. As Saint Basil the Great said, for even animals obey us without murmuring, but also without reason. But man has been given the mind to submit to what is due to him for salvation, and not to the unrighteous. End of the quote. Recently, that past day, it was the feast of the Transfiguration, when Lord Christ, sent as the Son of God, incarnated in a poor, simple baby on earth, born near the animal through Most Holy Theotokos Virgin Mary, show his divine face on a mountain to 3 apostles to increase their faith before his sacrifice, done for giving freedom, not slavery, as the occult evil group want, to giving freedom to the human being to choose from, even to reject him. God did not set up neither the sects, nor the Orthodox, nor the Catholics, nor the Jews, actual religions, nor the Buddhist, nor the Tao, nor the Muslim. He sent, as Creator, sent many prophets to all nations, as Buddha or Moses or David to teach the human beings the will of God, and asked to be loved, honored, wholeheartedly, and first of all, and elected the Jews for showing through Moses and the prophet his will in detail, but the Pharisee and the occult Jews working for evil occult group existing since them and mentioned in Revelation 2:9, defied and him and Moses and David, and the world almost entire was captive in lies and deceptions of father of lies, the devil. Then the Creator sent his own Son, revealed by the shamans, incarnate in a baby newborn Jew, born near the animals as a poor baby, because in a whole city the human beings had no place for his birth, and the shaman comes to him long way to worship with gift of gold, incense, and myrrh, and give by the Holy Spirit not only to find him on the way through a shining star, but give also to protect him against Herod, the cunning king, wanting to kill him and pretending he wants to worship him, as the cunning ones say they won't have children and won't sacrifice them, because the evil spirit acting through Herod felt a threatening in the mission of the Holy Child. The Holy Spirit warned the shamans not to listen to his cunning ask and not to inform Herod where they found the Holy Child. And the heroes of today sacrifice children to evil spirit exactly as the devilish Herod from them killed many innocent babies in his pathetic wish to be among them, and Lord Christ and Saint John the Baptist too. The heroes of today, worshipping to evil spirits, kill babies and catch, kidnapped, and or taken with legal deceptive appearance by corrupt officials or stolen from hospitals and other places, symbolizing they kill the Holy Child. But such babies as the ones sacrificed by Herod wanting to kill Lord and Saint John among them, now are saints with Christian fasts because they were killed innocent, exactly like that the babies today attacked and killed by the evil occult group with their sorcerer and all of them disciples of the Ram. The babies killed today are also little martyrs as the ones killed by Herod and the evil spirits and their slave destroy only their body, their life, and their mission for which they were born, a mission who will be taken by others. No, even if the number of martyrs will fulfill as it is written in the Revelation, the devil won't win. Never him who may ask permission to God even to enter in pigs. Don't fear the devils. Fight with him, but only with the help of God. but protect your babies not to be stolen and killed by the mob or by the corrupt official working for them, for the occultable group, in order to be sacrificed with help of some devilish vessels, some deceivers or pious clergymen infiltrated among the clergymen who once claiming to protect children and help babies by killing them, hidden to the ram. Better say to the evil spirits. Don't forget those deceived, fooled, the Jews fooled by the ones from the synagogue of Satan. Look in Psalm 66, David, KJV, 65 other version. The old faithful Jews sacrificed the rams to God for forgiving their sins, sacrificed rams to God, not sacrifice the babies to creation of God to rams. God said even about sacrificing to let the children come to Him. And also the symbol of Jews, David, Psalm 106, KJV 105 other versions, that the sacrifice of children make God angry, and also to worship to animals make also God angry. Look in David, Psalm 106, KJV 105 other version, 36, 14 and 19:25. For the Jews and not only, I remember what Solomon said, another king of Jews and the wise son of David, that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of the wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. And David himself said, Psalm 30, understanding. And David himself said, Psalm 34, 9, O fear, those who fear him has no lack. So those who say they are Mosaic and defy Moses and David worshipping the ram, and by David and Solomon, but they say, as in the Revelation, and other Jews are mentioned, or as it mentioned even by Saint Apostle John, Jude 2, even relative a matter by the incarnated Son of God, who called Lord Christ himself, they say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So don't believe them. Don't be fooled by them. So the wise have to at least fear God at the beginning, as Solomon said. But a real believer, any religion, have to love God, not even to fear. Saint Anthony the Great said sometimes, "No, I don't fear God anymore because I love Him." Finish the quote. And Matthew 10:28. Lord said, "And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell." Finish the quote. and that because God himself, through his word, after the human beings defied Buddha, defied the Jew prophets, and defied many wise sent by him to explain his will in all the nation, he sent his word, quote John 1, his word incarnated in his Son on earth, Lord Christ, who said, quote John 1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of man. And the light shines in darkness, and the darkness comprehend it not. Finish the quote. So why to fear the devil who needs for anything, including to enter in pigs, the permission of God? But notice that God, if he see that we defy him or love to lie, he allows the devil to attack us, or in other situation, he allows us to be attacked for checking our faith, for forgiving our sins through sufferance, or for showing us the right way. Job was attacked only how much and only how many times it was allowed by God. Not a second in ad, and with the condition to not be attacked his life. And look, Psalm 118, 17, 18. I shall not die, but live and declare the work of the Lord. And the Lord what chastened me, Saul, but he hath not given me unto death, over unto death. So all this is happening only with the permission of God, who sees that. Who sees and knows our souls, including the last days. So fear not the devil, increase your faith and pray God for light and help to occur the cunning traps and to be able to resist in the materially and spiritually fight with the evil spirits to whom too many choose freely to serve in the evil occult group. I remember what Pope John Paul said, evil always has a face and a name, the face and the name of men and women who choose it freely. Finish the quote. Attention, freely. So ask God for light and help, and not to be deceived and tripped to become their robots. Or, as Osho said, life beginning where prayer ends. Thinking is dangerous. Society wants robots that simply do whatever they are told, that can say not, that can't say not, something impossible for them. And God didn't send up thousands of religions, but seeing that the ones sent by him as Buddha, as the Jew prophets and others, he sent his own Son on earth to incarnate and to explain his will and to save the world offering his sacrifice for our sins, including for the sins done by blind Dan, who made God angry by sacrificing children to idols. And Lord Christ sacrificed himself to save the world and to give freedom to choose whom to follow, if they want to follow God or if they want to follow the devil. And the ones who choose God to forgive their sins, who he sacrificed on the cross for us. But even like that, the cunning seers of the devil, who choose freely to follow the devil, becoming as Saint Paul, as Pope John Paul said, the face and the name of the evil. So God did not set up thousands of religions, and even more the sects who defied and mocked even the divinity of his Son on earth, or of the one praised by the angels through which he incarnated his Son for saving the world, I mean most holy Theotokos, and neither who defy and mock the saints, about whom even the apostle a relative on earth of the incarnate God, I mean Saint Jacob or James, who was close to the Son of God, said, the effectual fervent prayer of our righteous availeth much. James 5 KGB. Such sects defied God's will, and many of them pretend to be Christians, to deceive the people or to corrupt it through aid, to lose his faith and soul. How can be such ones founded by God? They are many of them founded by politicians, by relatives, or directly by the occult group. Existing from as much hundreds years, but God came on earth before even over 2,000 years, gave freedom to human beings in 2 Gospels written, if they want to follow him or if they want not. Matthew 16:24-26 and Luke 9:23-27. And honored his mother on earth, most holy Theotokos. Luke 11:27, and although said, John 11:25, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. Finish the quote. Shall she live? Finish the quote. I felt necessary to tell you those things in the days of life, but being in the fast of most holy Theotokos for the Christians, and after the day when Father Alexander, who loved Japan, friend with Father Tova and Father Vasile, who was the best friend of Emperors Akihito and Michiko, and who asked me to help you to fight for your freedom and democracy. In such a day he was made priest in the day of Transfiguration and was killed by the evil occult group, as the others who mobbed actions, and although as Father Toba was crushed with the airplane by the same Naruhito who cutted him with katana and poisoned him with radioactive polonium while he tried to give him the Holy Eucharist, thinking he will stop the evil like that, and cutted and poisoned, and the samurai Juromaru who was with him, helping him, and after killed Empress Michiko, Nicoletta baptized. And Naruhito, being hidden like that, showed himself as pious, including after killing Empress Michiko Nicoletta, going at Moscow at the cathedral to the service of Holy Paraskiva to show how much good believer he is. And all that because himself said he did what his godfather asked, to use the faith for manipulating you, for making the people obedient through faith, and for controlling you through religion, because that's the new trend of the evil occult group. The Emperor Akihito, although blackmailed with the insemination, sent me after such killing attempts done by Naruhito against him a message like that. Say to him that I do not fear him. Tell him I don't fear him. And I did, saying, Yubaka, do you want to lead to kill him who resigned for you? Do you want to lead Japan accursed and killing him and without blessing, but in vain? To whom to say? To accept the evil, who made only the work of evil spirits of his godfather Putin against Japan, and also of Chinese who considered him a little dog, writing exactly to me and a threatening message that they consider him like that. All the betrayal acts was done after the hat on purpose, I mean, after and against Japan, after the heart of Emperor Akihito George gave up after seeing Empress Michiko Nicoletta killed and Daiko Rafaela crushed with the airplane, finding the gift for me from her crushed too. It was too much for resisting, he was weak. And what happened after Emperor Akihito died in Romania, searching Aiko crushed in the Black Sea near Mangalia, where the traitor Naruhito said himself wrote with his hand, he has an infinite army of traitors, all nations. Means he wanted to say Chinese, Korean, Southern, North, Japanese, Vietnamese, Russian, Romanian, Turkish, Italian, Arabs, many nations. So all what happened after Aiko was crushed and Emperor Akihito died searching her too, was done in his name by robots and impersonator, so both your emeritus George and Nicoletta, Akihito and Michiko loved Japan, even if the Emperor Akihito was weak and blackmailed, but he loved Japan. I say that because that's the truth. The occultism group, whose basic members are Russia, China, and the Synagogue of Satan, as it is written in the Bible, one pathetic, the global war, started by throwing Japan and North Korea in it, and in their paranoid calculus they don't care. They may die too in a global nuclear war, thinking that the evil spirits whom they worship, being many of them devilish vassals, will give them life back again, will protect them. They forget, although many of them are Pharisees, disguising pious and infiltrated, some of them even in churches, old religions, and leaders of sects. As Shakespeare said, the devil used and the scripture when he wanted to achieve his goal. They forget that even the Bible, used by them to manipulation, because they defy it and don't believe it, shows that the devil can do nothing if God doesn't allow that. Neither to make fall a sparrow, or to enter in a pig, or entering in pigs. The devil asketh permission, and also for attacking Yong, the devil asked permission and attacked him only as much as Lord accepted and allowed him to attack. And the Jews, that is written in the Old Testament, knows too that, and without to take his life, and only for the period that God allowed, not a minute more than that. So the pathetic doesn't think what Machiavelli said. Wars begins when you want, but do not end when you please. Thinking to evil spirits will give them life again, or will protect their life, and they want the global war only to diminish the population, to change the map through war for controlling totally the survivors as numbers in their total control. But they forgot that the evil spirits, if God doesn't allow that, they won't be able to give them life again if they lose it in the war created by themselves. And in Matthew 13, it is written clear at the parable with the wheat and the tares, 24:13, and Matthew 13:49-50. So shall be at the end of the world, the angels shall come forth and sever the wicked among the just, and shall cast them into the furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Finish the quote. So, the evil occult groups sow hatred everywhere, but they work hidden, united in the evil occult group. But they sow to you hatred and selfishness for being able like that, using the principle divide et impera to control you all. And not only to control, but even to liquidate like that the awkward for the evil occult group, considering them that if they isolate them, they are able to control and to kill, and their mob used by them easier. But again, they forgot what is written in the Bible no sparrow fall, and although the hair are counted, Bible, Matthew 10:26-31. All it happens only if God allows to be happen, not if they want to be happened. So, as a Romanian proverb, the horses don't die when the dogs want that. And they, pathetic, keep sowing hatred to isolate and attack, but not only for diminishing the population and for liquidating the awkwards and for stealing organs or properties interest. Remember what wrote recently a blogger of the evil local group working for Russia, allied with China, quote from the blogger, "We will kill whom we want, we will steal what we want." Finish the quote. Really? The good faith Jews, not the synagogue of Satan, and although the Christians can quote them, the Psalm 8 KJV, the Psalm 86 KJV, 85 other versions of David, who show that they did not count the intervention of God in their calculated plan, and they used isolation proceeding, including with their own mob of the evil local group, used, and after becoming awkward, not to speak, or uncomfortable, or not useful anymore, on the principle of the classic mafia. I wish to all wisdom, light, and peace, very necessary for all. Fight and keep the country free in democracy, light, and truth, and never allow any more to betrayal. And ask God for light. I repeat, I recommend even to the atheists. I will finish with the Japanese proverb with a prayer of Saint from the Syrian for the East, and with quotes of Gandhi. So, Japanese proverbs: do good things quickly, and it's enough for a dog to bark in vain, the rest will support him. And if the fountain head is clear, the stream will be clear. And do not drink from the fountain of thieves, even if your lips are thirsty. Now, the prayer of Saint Ephraim, the Syrian for the East, especially for Christians, but being for the East, for all from the East believers. Quote, Lord our God, you chose the East to send your only Son and fulfill the plan of salvation. It is a young woman of the East, the Virgin Mary, you choose to carry and give birth to your only Son. It is in the East he grew up, worked and chose his apostles and disciples. It is in the East where he conveyed your will and your teachings, where he performed miracles and wonders. It is in the East where he gave himself up. It is in the East where he accepted suffering and death and rose again. It is from the east that he ascended into heaven to sit at your right hand. We ask you to give the necessary strength to your children in the east, so that they may be fortified in the faith and hope of your holy apostles. Amen. And Mahatma Gandhi quote, God as truth has been for me a treasure without price. May he be so to every one of us. To all, in the name of Japan, Heiwa.